In the midst of our exploration of popular culture, we're turning our attention to a seismic announcement from Starpath Media. Their flagship show, Blood and Glory, is poised to undergo a major shakeup with the introduction of not one, but two new contestants. What's truly intriguing is the origin story of these contestants. One emerges from the enigmatic depths of the uncontacted civilization residing on Sol 3, while the other represents a more technologically advanced society scattered across the stars. The initial news anchor's thinly veiled contempt towards the term pre-FTL primitives hints at the pervasive biases that permeate even the most seemingly objective of broadcasts. Meanwhile, we witness William's jarring awakening in a Spartan cell, his surroundings devoid of comfort or familiarity. As he grapples with his newfound reality, it becomes painfully evident that he's been ensnared in a sinister web of exploitation. His captor's honeyed words promise him the world, fame, fortune, adoration. But beneath the surface lies a chilling reminder of the price William must pay for his shot at stardom. William couldn't shake the haunting memory of those images plastered on the screen. Each woman's face, each curve, now carried an added weight of guilt. His gaze lingered on the lone model with dark blue skin, a standout amidst the predominantly mammalian figures. The revelation of her coerced involvement hit him like a ton of bricks. She wasn't just eye candy. She was a pawn in a high-stakes game he never asked to play. As his captor divulged the grim details of his upcoming reality TV ordeal, William's stomach churned with apprehension. The prospect of facing off against unseen adversaries in a sprawling jungle arena filled him with a sense of dread. Yet, amidst the chaos of his thoughts, one ominous instruction stood out. Hands off the mysterious woman, a directive laced with ominous implications. Dumped unceremoniously into yet another desolate cell, William found himself enveloped in the suffocating embrace of solitude. The cold, featureless room served as a bleak canvas for the vivid memories of his past, each scene flashing before his eyes like a desperate plea for reprieve. In this moment of profound vulnerability, he couldn't help but wonder if this was the prelude to his own demise, a cruel twist of fate orchestrated by forces beyond his control. As the smug instigator droned on about William's supposed rise to stardom, the harsh reality of his predicament sank in. He was nothing more than a pawn in a brutal game of survival, where the rules were simple: kill or be killed. His departure from familiarity marked the beginning of a descent into a savage world where primal instincts reigned supreme. Amidst the ominous atmosphere, two guards materialized, armed to the teeth and clad in intimidating exoskeletons. With robotic efficiency, they thrust a bag into William's hands, demanding an immediate change of attire. To his surprise, the contents of the bag revealed not the trappings of his mundane existence, but the gear of his clandestine alter ego, the one that thrived in the shadows, where morality was a luxury he couldn't afford. Dressed in his dark ensemble, William felt a surge of determination coursing through his veins. It was time to embrace the role thrust upon him, to step into the spotlight with a calculated swagger. Meanwhile, his counterpart paced nervously, acutely aware of the impending danger lurking within the arena's confines. She had been lured into this macabre spectacle by promises of financial reprieve, yet as the countdown to the next match dwindled, doubts gnawed at her resolve. With each passing moment, the weight of uncertainty bore down on her, amplifying her fear and frustration. The glimmer of hope offered by monetary gain dimmed in the face of an uncertain fate, leaving her to grapple with the chilling realization that she was little more than a disposable pawn in a game she never consented to play. Navigating the dimly lit tunnel, William's heart pounded with trepidation, each step a hesitant shuffle toward an unknown fate. As he reached the tunnel's end, a sense of finality washed over him, mingled with a desperate plea for sanctuary. Stepping onto the platform, he braced himself, the platform's ascent thrusting him into the blinding glare of the arena above. The sheer expanse of the arena was staggering, a testament to human ingenuity, or perhaps depravity. Yet, any awe William might have felt was drowned out by the cacophony that greeted him, a deafening symphony of blaring music and thunderous applause. The announcer's booming voice reverberated through the air, a stark reminder of his newfound status as entertainment fodder. As the spotlight bore down on him, William's discomfort grew, compounded by the unwelcome revelation of his middle name, the bane of his existence. The display of his title, True Outlaw, in a foreign script further underscored his alienation from this twisted spectacle. Amidst the clamor of the crowd, he couldn't help but wonder at the depths of human depravity that allowed such voyeuristic cruelty to flourish. But amidst the chaos, a chilling interruption jolted him from his thoughts. A drone, its mechanical voice dripping with sinister amusement. As the reality of his situation sank in, William realized he was merely a pawn in a perverse game of manipulation, his every move scrutinized for the entertainment of unseen spectators. And as the drone hinted at the arrival of another player, William's sense of isolation deepened, a lone soul adrift in a sea of darkness and deception. The drone's chilling revelation sent a shiver down William's spine as he grappled with the weight of their precarious situation. The ominous warning of a bounty on their heads fueled his urgency, driving him to heed the call of impending danger. With a sense of grim determination, he raced towards the dense thicket of trees that marked the entrance to the jungle, each step a frantic bid to outpace the looming threat. Meanwhile, his counterpart found herself thrust into a nightmare scenario, her every instinct screaming of imminent peril. As she fled through the labyrinthine foliage, the sting of a flet lodged in her leg served as a grim reminder of the stakes at hand. With each passing moment, the relentless pursuit of the hunters bore down upon her, driving her towards the brink of exhaustion and despair. For William, the urgency of their plight was palpable as he scrambled up a rocky cliff in search of a vantage point. The sprawling expanse of the artificial forest stretched out before him, a daunting labyrinth teeming with unseen dangers. His heart raced as he caught sight of a fleeting blur of blue, a telltale sign that he was closing in on his elusive partner. Yet, his desperate bid to reunite with her was fraught with peril. As he stumbled and tumbled down the hillside, his body bruised and battered but his resolve unyielding. With each labored breath, he pushed himself forward, his determination to protect his companion eclipsing the pain that threatened to consume him. As he finally closed in on their location, the sight that greeted him filled him with a potent mix of rage and despair. The hunters, poised to deliver a fatal blow, taunted their defenseless prey, their cruelty laid bare for all to see. In a moment of reckless abandon, William threw himself into the fray, his actions driven by a primal need to protect what little remained of their dwindling hope. The searing pain emanating from William's wounded shoulder sliced through his senses, triggering a surge of primal adrenaline that surged through his veins like a raging torrent. With each throb of agony, his lizard brain kicked into overdrive, flooding his system with the raw combat fuel of survival. Fueled by a potent cocktail of fear and determination, he launched himself at the hunter who had inflicted the grievous injury upon him, his movements a blur of calculated violence. Grasping the hunter's head with a primal ferocity, William slammed it against the rough bark of a nearby tree, each impact resonating with bone-jarring intensity. As his assailant crumpled to the forest floor, rendered unconscious by the brutal onslaught, William's breath came in ragged gasps, his senses sharpened to a razor's edge by the pulse-pounding intensity of the moment. Turning his attention to the second hunter, William's muscles screamed in protest as he lunged forward, his movements fueled by a potent mixture of adrenaline and sheer force of will. Ignoring the searing pain radiating from his wounded buttock, he engaged his remaining adversary in a brutal struggle, their bodies locked in a deadly dance of survival. With trembling hands, William wrestled the hunter's weapon from their grasp, his grip unyielding despite the burning ache that radiated through his battered body. With each blow he delivered, he felt a primal surge of satisfaction, his senses heightened to a fever pitch as he rained down blows upon his foe. As the final hunter lay broken and defeated at his feet, William's chest heaved with exertion, his gaze sweeping the forest for any sign of further danger. With the threat neutralized, he turned his attention to his fallen companion, his heart clenching with apprehension as he knelt beside her motionless form. The sight of her pale face and the pool of blood surrounding her injured leg sent a surge of panic coursing through William's veins, his mind racing with desperate thoughts. With trembling hands, he fashioned a makeshift tourniquet from his belt, applying pressure to stem the flow of blood as he fought to keep his rising sense of dread at bay. As he shook her in a desperate bid to rouse her from unconsciousness, William's heart pounded with a mixture of fear and hope, his voice hoarse as he pleaded for her to wake. With each passing moment, the weight of their precarious situation bore down upon him, driving him to the brink of despair. Finally, as her eyes fluttered open, William's relief was palpable, a surge of emotion sweeping through him like a tidal wave. With trembling hands, he helped her to sit up, his voice choked with emotion as he reassured her that they were safe, for now. Yet, even as a sense of weary relief washed over him, he knew that their trials were far from over, the looming specter of their unknown adversaries casting a shadow over their uncertain future.